What about Mt. Gox effect on Bitcoin?
Supply shocks matter. So I think, yeah, it will have some effect. And even the counter argument is, because I always like playing devil's advocate and like debates, it's like when it comes to the Mt. Gox effect, let's say there is a large entity that wants to buy those coins up so that they don't go on market and they don't get sold. But Richard was the one that said this, like even if it's like 3 big guys selling or 1 million people selling, the order books don't care. They care zero. The price is going to go down. So as long as anytime you have a supply shock effect, where a lot of supply comes on the market, it's usually very bearish for the price. Same thing with like big payday for Hex, and also with like the PulseChain, like the doubling of the supply. Will probably have a similar effect because this is just what happens with supply shocks.
Yeah, we talked about
it's
this
going
on
to be
the
interesting
panel too. We talked about this on the panel about that, and I'm like, I don't know if they're going to get dumped. I don't know. Maybe they won't.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. Just the assumption is yes, because I wouldn't know why not.
Well, maybe. Yeah, it's a whole other big discussion, but yeah, it depends. I guess it depends on who goes there, what they're. If it goes to a bunch of the people getting their coins back, they're going to make different decisions than institutional people who may hold the coins. What if the lawyers are like, hey, we'll give you 10% or 20% more cash. We'll buy the coins from you. We'll put it into a vehicle that we know how to invest with, and they make a ton of money off of it. Who knows how that's going to shake out?
Maybe.
Gox coins aren't given back to people and used to at the time.
I read that, but there's no confirmation. If that is true, it's not going to matter. But we have no confirmation on like the actual like logistical details.
Yeah, it's hard to do anything to speculate.
There's more than just Mt. Gox. You have like when it comes to supply shocks, you have Mt. Gox. You have so Richard brings up 3. You have Mt. Gox. You have Ross Ulberg, the Silk Road guy, his coins, and then you have the Bitfinex seizure. Apparently, the US wants to sell those coins as well. So you have 3 more big supply shock events. I'm not sure. I think it was like 70,000 for Bitfinex, around that number. Don't quote me on it. Ross Ulberg, I don't know. Mt. Gox like 140K roughly. Bitcoin, which is like $3 billion.
3 bill. Wow. 140K. Yep. Well, at current prices, could be like 500 bill soon, or not soon. Could be 500 bill in the future when they dump at the next high. Or oh god, I don't want to think about 3 supply shocks.
It's interesting, man. I don't. How okay? This is an interesting question, man. Everybody kind of stay on the live stream. So when it comes to like Bitcoin, how high do you think Bitcoin can go in 10 years or 20 years?
I don't think it'll ever go above 500K. I think just pulling the number out, I can't see $1 million Bitcoin. Not Bitcoin. I see other cryptos going nuts, but I can't see $1 million Bitcoin even in 10 or 20 years. I just think it'll be institutionalized away.
I agree. So the kind of reasoning for that is like, I'm not sure, because like with the whole Bitcoin ETF situation and stuff like that, I think that's, so here's kind of a thing that not a lot of people think about. A lot of these like secondary markets like Grayscale Bitcoin, Bitcoin ETF, stuff like that. When people buy Grayscale Bitcoin, it's paper Bitcoin. It does not push up the market price. It's a secondary market. So if $1 billion goes into that, it does not push up the Bitcoin price. So the more secondary markets you get and the more traditional adoption you get, the more the price gets dampened because there's no more buying of the actual asset. So the bigger Bitcoin gets and the more traditional adoption it gets, the less and less and less and less the gains are going to be. So I think it's at some point it's just going to get capped, and I think it's going to get overtaken by Ethereum, and then we're going to have a narrative shift where just like, hey, Bitcoin is no longer the thing, so it's not going to cap the crypto market because Ethereum got extremely close last cycle. So next cycle
it's almost a flipping, very very close.
Exactly. So I think the crypto market is just going to shift. Bitcoin is no longer going to be number 1. There's almost 100% chance of that happening.